Good morning, everyone. So this week is all about noticing patterns. Last week, when I was out doing my mindful walking, I noticed lots of different types of patterns, whether they were patterns in nature when I was walking through the park or man-made patterns. I also noticed how patterns change. So shadows on the wall or on the floor at different times of day, they changed and patterns came and went. So I got really excited about looking for patterns, and the more I looked, the more I saw. And our world is full of patterns, inside and out. So this week is all about being a bit of a pattern detective. We might not only notice patterns outside in the world around us, but with mindfulness practice, we can start to notice patterns in our inside world too. And I've talked quite a lot about habits, and habits are just repeated patterns. So over the last few months, I've really enjoyed being a bit of a pattern detective, to notice the patterns and habits that I'd like to change and try to grow the ones that I think will have more of a positive effect on myself and the people around me. In our mindfulness and meditation practice, we can start to notice our thoughts a little bit more. So when we're bringing attention to the breath or the sensations in the body, a thought might arise in our mind and we just notice it. And instead of getting lost in it and caught up in it, we can see if we can unhook ourselves from it and bring our attention back to the body and the breath and let the thought pass by like a cloud in the sky. And when we start to notice our thoughts in this way, we might even start to notice what types of thoughts we're having. Something that I do that I can find quite helpful is to label the type of thought when I notice it. So I might notice that it's a planning thought or a rehearsing thought or even a worrying thought. And I don't need to judge myself for what type of thought it is. I can just notice it with kindness and curiosity and with interest. We might even start to notice how thoughts make us feel. So thoughts like worries, when they go round and round and round, will probably have an effect on how we feel. And when something repeats, it gets stronger. So our feelings might get stronger too. But we can learn to take a step back from our thoughts and notice them for what they are, just thoughts. Remembering that not all thoughts are facts. We might just have built up a pattern of thinking, a certain way of thinking about a certain thing. So, with practicing noticing our thoughts in this way, we can start to take charge of our thoughts and our feelings. So we can make choices about the habits and patterns that we want to grow and the ones that we want to let go of. Find a comfortable position, whether that's lying down or sitting. Make sure you're in a position where you're alert but relaxed. When you're ready, closing your eyes. Taking a moment to settle into the body, dropping the shoulders, and having a sense of the weight of your body sinking down through your sit bones. If you notice any tension or tightness in your body, see if you can breathe into it, softening and relaxing. Tuning into how you're feeling right now. Are there any strong emotions or thoughts? However you're feeling is okay. You don't need to judge how you are. There's no right or wrong. So in this practice, we're spending time with ourselves, giving ourselves some self-care, some love and attention. However we are is okay, and we can be with how we are with kindness and acceptance. So let's start to bring our attention into the body, connecting and plugging into the present moment through those sit bones. Noticing any other points of contact with the floor, whether you're sitting or lying down. There may be points of the leg, the ankles, the feet, that are in connection with the floor. Just noticing that, noticing where that edge is. Any sensations where the edge of your body meets the floor. And we can start to direct our attention through the body, just noticing what we notice. Might want to wiggle the toes slightly. Just noticing any sensations you have in the feet. Taking your attention up the legs. Starting to be curious in a detective-like way. What do we notice? Into the sit bones and the hips. Up the back and spine. Exploring and investigating. Noticing whatever we find, whatever we feel. Taking our attention into the front of the body, into the chest and the belly. Often we can hold emotions in the belly. So just noticing how you feel. And then bringing attention to your breathing. Notice the movement of the breath in the front of the body. As you breathe in and breathe out. Notice if there's any sense of enjoyment, just noticing the flow of the breath. And as we try and stay with the breath, just notice if any thoughts arise. See if you can observe your thought as it comes, instead of following it and jumping on the train of thought. See if you can just let the thought go, let it pass by like clouds in the sky. When you notice your thought, you could label what type of thought it was. Was it a past thought, going over something that's already happened? Or was it a future thought, planning or rehearsing something, maybe even a worry? Maybe it was something that you want, or something that you don't want. Just noticing, and not judging what type of thought you're having. Every time a thought pops up, see if you can label it, and then let it go, like that cloud in the sky. Notice if today, in this moment, there's a pattern of what types of thoughts are arising. See if you can be interested in that. And remember not to judge yourself. Whatever you notice is okay. We're just practicing being more aware. And every time you let the thought pass by, come back to your body. Maybe you could wiggle your toes or plug into the present moment through your sit bones. And just notice how you feel. Did the thought have a feeling that came with it? Remember, that's okay too. And then come back to the breath, remembering it's our good friend, which can anchor us back into the present moment. Keep bringing the attention to your breath as it flows in and out of your body. And then keep repeating this pattern of noticing our thoughts and our feelings and letting the thought go, coming back to the body and the breath. And we can just do that again and again with curiosity and kindness. Where is your mind now? What do you notice? Gently and kindly come back to the breath. So as I bring this guided meditation to an end, if you want to keep practicing, you could keep your eyes closed and continue past the end of the guidance. And remember that you can do this outside of meditation too, to keep noticing the effects our thoughts have on us, and know that we have the choice to let go of thoughts that you don't find helpful. So when you're ready, bringing the meditation to an end and opening your eyes. This week, why don't you try going on a pattern hunt? So you could go somewhere like a green space like the park to do a bit of a nature pattern hunt, or you could just walk around the block or go to the shops. You could even do a pattern hunt around your home as well, so you don't even need to leave the house. And you could just talk about what you find with the people that you're with, noticing the different patterns and shapes and colours and lines. Or you could take something with you like a sketchbook and sketch some of the patterns that you see, or even photograph them. You might even want to extend this activity by taking some rubbings of textures and patterns that you find, like tree rubbings for instance. You could even turn it into a mystery pattern game where you take a close-up of a pattern, a close-up photograph of a pattern, and then you get your friends or family to try and guess what the pattern is. Here's some patterns that I spotted inside my home and outside around my local area. See if you can work out what they all are. When you look for patterns, remember a pattern is a design that is repeated, so look for shapes and lines that repeat. Look all around you. You might be surprised at how many you can find. Look for both natural patterns, like patterns in nature and shadows, as well as man-made imprints, markings and designs. So now it's your turn. Why not go on a pattern hunt with your family? You could turn it into a creative challenge by using sketching, photographs or rubbings. And have a go at getting to know your inside world as well as the outside world by following my guided meditation, Noticing Patterns. You could also use any of the other guided meditations which I've posted on here as well. Why not try doing a different one each day? Happy pattern hunting.